The Battle of the Little Bighorn on June 25–26, 1876, remains one of the most controversial episodes in American military history. Lieutenant Colonel George Armstrong Custer's disastrous defeat at the hands of Lakota Sioux, northern Cheyenne, and Arapaho warriors left an indelible mark on the survivors, none more so than Captain Frederick William Benteen. As commander of a battalion in the 7th U.S. Cavalry, Benteen played a pivotal role in the engagement, or, depending on one's perspective, a traitorous one. Ordered by Custer to scout the left flank and later to come on with ammunition packs, Benteen instead joined Major Marcus Reno's beleaguered forces on what became known as Reno Hill. This decision saved the lives of hundreds but fueled decades of debate over whether he could have aided Custer in time. While Custer and over 260 men perished, Benteen survived, emerging as a complex figure, a skilled officer haunted by accusations of hesitation, yet praised for his steady leadership under fire. In the immediate aftermath, Benteen effectively assumed command of the remaining troops alongside Reno, holding off repeated Native American attacks until relief arrived from General Alfred Terry's forces on June 27. The survivors, battered and low on supplies, endured a grueling siege. Benteen's actions during this defense were highly praised, earning him a reputation for cool-headed bravery. However, whispers of blame soon circulated. Critics, including some within the military and Custer's widow, Libby, suggested Benteen and Reno had failed to support Custer adequately. Benteen, never one to shy away from controversy, harbored his own deep-seated resentment toward Custer, whom he viewed as a reckless braggart. This animosity dated back to 1867, when they first met, and intensified after the 1868 Battle of Wichita, where Benteen criticized Custer for abandoning Major Joel Elliott and his men. The controversy culminated in the 1879 Reno Court of Inquiry in Chicago, convened to examine Reno's conduct but inevitably scrutinizing Benteen's as well. Testifying under oath, Benteen defended his decisions vigorously. He argued that rushing to Custer's aid would have been suicidal, given the overwhelming native forces, estimated at 1,500 to 2,500 warriors, and the terrain's challenges. It was impossible to obey the order, he stated, emphasizing that the battalion was already engaged and that the ammunition train was too slow to keep pace. Benteen also lambasted Custer's strategy, implying the flamboyant commander had underestimated the enemy, fighting in the heart of the Sioux Nation, where the medicine was working well. The inquiry exonerated Reno, and by extension Benteen, but it did little to quell public fascination or partisan debates. In 1877, Benteen joined the pursuit of the Nez Perce tribe during their epic flight toward Canada, a campaign that showcased his tactical skill. On September 13, at the Battle of Canyon Creek in Montana Territory, Benteen led troops in a fierce engagement against Chief Joseph's forces. Though the Nez Perce escaped, Benteen's performance was commendable, contributing to the eventual surrender of the tribe. By December 1882, Benteen had been promoted to major and transferred to the 9th U.S. Cavalry, an African-American regiment known as the Buffalo Soldiers. This move marked a shift from the plains warfare of his earlier years to garrison duties in the West. He eventually assumed command of Fort Duchesne in Utah, a remote outpost tasked with maintaining peace amid settler Indian tensions. However, Benteen's later career was marred by personal demons. Known for his sharp wit and leadership, he also struggled with heavy drinking, a vice that had occasionally surfaced but worsened with age. In 1887, at Fort Duchesne, he was charged with drunk and disorderly conduct, including public intoxication and abusive behavior towards subordinates. A military tribunal convicted him, recommending dismissal from service. President Grover Cleveland, reviewing the case, reduced the sentence to a 1-year suspension at half pay. This clemency allowed Benteen to salvage his career. Citing medical disabilities, Benteen retired from the Army on July 7, 1888, at the rank of Major. For his gallantry at Canyon Creek, and retroactively for Little Bighorn, he was brevetted to Brigadier General on February 27, 1890, a rare honor that affirmed his value to the Army despite the lingering shadows of 1876. Retirement brought Benteen to Atlanta, Georgia, where he sought a quieter existence. In his later years, Benteen remained engaged with the past, corresponding with historians and fellow veterans about Little Bighorn. His letters often reiterated his low opinion of Custer. On June 22, 1898, at age 63, Frederick Benteen passed away in Atlanta from natural causes. His funeral drew notable figures, including Georgia Governor William Y. Atkinson and Atlanta Mayor Charles A. Collier, who served as pallbearers. Initially interred at Westview Cemetery in Atlanta, Benteen's remains were reburied in Arlington National Cemetery in November 1902.